Hi, everybody. My name is Mrs. Pesic, and this is the first of the Summer Algebra 1 review videos. There are 10 videos altogether, followed by 10 quizzes. So the idea is you will watch a video, follow along with the practice problems. I would suggest that you actually write them in a notebook, actually do the problems in a notebook, and then there's some additional problems for you to try on your own, and answers have been provided on the video. So those are not actually worked out by me or by Miss Bella, but you can try them yourself and see if you get the right answer. And if you do, then you should just go ahead and feel free to try the Blackboard quiz that follows that you can find that will be following this video. And you can keep trying keep trying the Blackboard quiz until you get 80% or higher, in which case then you can move on to the next summer review video. And again, there are 10 videos altogether. So here's video number 1. The topics on this, and these are all Algebra 1 review problems, the topics are solving basic word problems, evaluating expressions, and evaluating expressions with variables. So let's try this first problem. It says Stacy types 40 words per minute. She has a 500-word essay to write. How long should it take her to type her essay? Well, let's think about this. We're trying to find out the time she takes, but we know how many words per minute she can type. So I think if we come up with some kind of a formula, like words per minute times number of minutes, words per minute times number of minutes, notice that the minutes will divide out and we'll be left with number of words. All right, so in this case, she has a 500-word essay to type, so 500 words, and that's going to equal how many minutes? We don't know. All right, X minutes, and then times her words per minute. So she types 40 words per minute, and we're trying to find out how many minutes. I'll put my units in there, how many minutes that will take. So really, my equation boils down to 40 times x equals 500, and then we can solve that equation by dividing both sides by 40. And if you grab a calculator, you will see that 500 divided by 40 is, I'm working with my calculator here, 500 divided by 40 is 12.5. So to answer the question, let's put units in our answer. It is asking how long should it take her to type her essay. It should take her 12.5 minutes. So that's really 12 and a half minutes, if you want to think of it that way, or 12 minutes, 30 seconds. All right, let's take a look at another problem. This one says John travels to Boston at an average speed of 55 miles per hour. If the distance to Boston is 800 miles, how long will it take him to get there? So again, this one is going to need the formula distance equals rate times time. And in this case, we can plug in the distance, which we know is 800, and the rate is 55 miles per hour. And the time is what we don't know. So we're going to solve for t here. And so again, we need to divide both sides by 55 to solve this equation. And when we grab our calculators to do this, 800 divided by 55 is 14.55 if I'm rounding to like the nearest 100th. And that would be what units? 14.55 hours. So you could say it will take 14.55 hours for his trip. All right, let's take a look at the next example. Now we're evaluating an expression. So order of operations is very important here. So remember, order of operations, maybe you've heard this little mnemonic device. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So when we do that, the P stands for parentheses. The E in excuse stands for exponents. The M and a D stand for multiplication and division. And I put those right next to each other because they have equal priority as you're going from left to right. We would handle any multiplications or divisions that we see in order from left to right. And then lastly, any additions or subtractions get handled. Again, equal priority as you go left to right. So in this example, we're going to start with, let me shrink this down a little bit. All right, sliding this out of the way. So if we're going to solve this example, I'm going to do the handle of the parentheses first. So 9 minus 7 is 2. All right, so I've got 2 squared, and then 4 plus 3 is 7. Okay, and I've got a 5 plus. So the next step would be any exponents. Well, I have 2 squared, so that right here is going to be 4. So I have 5 plus 4 times 7. Order of operations says I would do multiplication next, multiplication or division. So I see multiplication, 4 times 7 is 28. So I have 5 plus 28, and that turns out to be 33 as my answer. Okay, let's take a look at another example. How about this one? This one says 40 divided by 5 minus 3 cubed plus 9 minus 2. Order of operations says I should do parentheses first. So I'm going to have 40 divided by 2 cubed plus 9 minus 2. Order of operations says do exponents next. So 2 cubed would be 8. That's 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. So I have 40 divided by 8 plus 9 minus 2. Now I should be looking for any multiplication or division as I go from left to right. And I only see one multiplication or division, and that's right here. So 40 divided by 8 is 5. So I have 5 plus 9 minus 2. Now I do any additions or subtractions going from left to right. And so I've got a 14 here minus 2 gives me 12 as an answer. All right, let's take a look at the next problem. I think I missed one. There it is. Evaluate the expression for the given values of x and y. If x equals negative 2 and y equals negative 3. So at this point, we're going to plug in negative 2 wherever we see an x and negative 3 wherever we see a y. So I've got 4 times negative 2 times negative 3 cubed minus 5 plus a negative 2 minus a negative 3. All right, again, order of operations. So I'm going to do exponents first. I have a negative 3 that's being raised to the third. Only the negative 3 is being raised to the third, but that's going to be negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3, which is equal to negative 27. So I have 4 times negative 2 times a negative 27 minus 5 plus a negative 2, and then minus a negative 3. You know that minus a negative is the same as plus a positive. So I'm going to change this to a plus 3 here. All right. At this point, next up would be any multiplications or divisions that we see going from left to right. So I think I can multiply these all together. I could do 4 times negative 2 is a negative 8, and multiply that by negative 27. And I'm grabbing my calculator right now, as you should be, as we're doing these problems. So I've got 4 times negative 2, 4 times negative 2 times 27, and I'm getting a positive 216, and then that's minus 5 plus negative 2 plus 3. And now I can change this minus here to plus a negative, and so I'm really adding 216 minus 5 minus 2 plus 3. I'm ending up with 212. Are we okay with this one? I hope so. Okay, I'm just checking over my work. All right, let's take a look at number 6. Evaluate the expression for the given values of x and y. If x is 4 and y is negative 1. Again, we're going to plug in, let me get this slid over here a little bit. I'm going to plug in 4 wherever we see an x. So I'm going to have 5 times 4. and I'm going to plug in a negative 1 wherever I see a y. So I'm going to have negative 2, or minus 2 I should say, times a negative 1 squared plus 6 times 4 minus a negative 1. All right, I would never try and do this in my head. I would always write out everything. And then 4 minus 2 times a negative 1 will be our denominator. So working through this, 5 times 4, I can do any exponents first. So here this is a negative 1 squared. That's negative 1 times negative 1, which is actually going to be a positive 1. So I'm going to have 5 times 4 minus 2 times a positive 1 plus 6 times, and maybe we can handle this parentheses right here, minus a negative is the same as plus a positive. So I have 6 times 5 here. And then in my denominator, I've got 4. I'm going to change this minus to plus a negative. So I've got 4 plus a negative 2 times negative 1 is a positive 2. All right, and then at this point, if I can do the multiplications that I see here, I get 20. This is going to be a minus 2, and this is going to be a plus 30, and this is over 6. And then 20 minus 2 is 18 plus 30. I think that's going to be a 48 over 6. So I'm getting 8 as my answer. Okay. So here are some practice problems for you to try before you actually take the Blackboard quiz. Answers are going to be provided on the next page of the video, on the next page of my Smartboard notes for my video, so you can check your work. So here are the 3 problems. Number 1, you buy 5 gallons of juice at $1.15 per gallon. What is your total cost? Number 2, evaluate 3 minus 5 quantity cubed plus 7 plus 2 quantity squared. And number 3, evaluate 3x quantity squared minus y cubed when x equals negative 2 and y equals 4. So I suggest you pause this video now, and after you've tried these 3 problems, then go on to see what the solutions are, which I'm about to put up. And then after that, most likely you'll be ready to take that Blackboard quiz, and you'll be looking to keep trying that until you get an 8 out of 10 or higher, in which case you'll be ready to go on to the next video and the next quiz. All right, so go ahead and pause it if you need to, and here are the solutions after you're done trying these problems. Should be $5.75, 73, and negative 28. Okay, so when you are comfortable with these problems, try Algebra 1 Summer Review Blackboard Quiz number 1. And if you have any questions, feel free to email us. Here are our email addresses, and we will be checking those emails throughout the summer in our attempts to help you with any problems that you might have. All right, thanks for watching and have a great day.